Something just changed. And if you are an immigrant living in the United States right now, the next 4 minutes could be the most important 4 minutes of your week. Driving rules across multiple states have just been updated for March 2026, and millions of people were not expecting this. This is not a small tweak. This is not routine paperwork. This could directly affect your license, your ability to get to work, your immigration status, and your daily life starting right now. Do not click away. Because what we are about to reveal is something most media outlets are completely ignoring. Welcome to Zenvio News USA. I am your host, and today we are breaking down everything you need to know about the new March 2026 driving rule changes that are sending shockwaves through immigrant communities from coast to coast. Whether you are undocumented, on a visa, a green card holder, or a naturalized citizen with family members who are not, this update touches all of you, and the clock is already ticking. Let me start with the big picture before we get into the details that most people are missing. For years, the conversation around immigrants and driving in the United States has been complicated. Some states open their doors, others shut them. But March 2026 has brought a new wave of changes that are reshaping the rules of the road in ways that are deeper and more consequential than anything we have seen in recent years. Some of these changes will open new doors, others will close them fast. And knowing which side you are on could be the difference between keeping your job and losing everything. So what exactly happened? Let us break it down. Over the past several weeks, a combination of state-level legislative updates, federal guidance revisions, and new enforcement priorities has created a new landscape for immigrant drivers in America. Several states have moved to tighten the documentation requirements for obtaining or renewing a driver's license if you are a non-citizen. At the same time, other states have passed protections that shield immigrant drivers from certain types of law enforcement stops related to immigration status. The result is a patchwork of new rules that vary dramatically depending on where you live. And that variation is exactly what makes this so dangerous to ignore. Here is what most people are not talking about. The changes are not just about who can get a license. They are about what happens when you already have one, and what officers are now authorized to ask you. In some jurisdictions, updated policies are giving local law enforcement new protocols when they pull over a driver and documentation does not match federal database records. That means a routine traffic stop could now escalate in ways it could not 6 months ago. Are you prepared for that? Because millions of drivers are not. Let us talk about who is affected the most. If you are undocumented and living in a state that previously offered limited purpose driver's licenses or driving privilege cards, you need to check right now whether your state has updated its renewal requirements. Several states have quietly added new biometric verification steps and cross-referencing with federal immigration databases that were not part of the process before. If your license is up for renewal in the next 90 days, waiting is not an option. If you are on a work visa, an H-1B, an L-1, or any temporary status, the new rules in certain states require you to present updated visa documentation at the time of renewal, even if your license has not expired. A lapse in documentation, even a small one, can now result in a suspension of your driving privileges while your status is verified. That means no driving to work, no dropping your kids at school, no grocery runs, all while your case sits in a backlog. Now imagine this, a family in Texas, both parents working, 3 kids in school. The father's H-1B extension is delayed at the immigration office, which is not uncommon these days. Under the old rules, his license renewal would go through without a problem. Under the new March 2026 guidelines in his state, his renewal is flagged, placed on hold, and he cannot legally drive until the issue is resolved. 2 weeks without a license. 2 weeks of ride shares, borrowed cars, missed shifts, and mounting stress. That is not a hypothetical. That is happening to real families right now across this country. But here is where it gets more complex, because not all of the news is bad. On the other side of the country, states like California, Illinois, and New York have introduced or reinforced sanctuary-style driving protections that explicitly limit what local police can do with information obtained during a traffic stop. In these states, your driving record and your immigration status are treated as two completely separate matters. If you live in one of these states, the March 2026 updates may actually strengthen your protections. Your local DMV has been instructed not to share your information with federal immigration enforcement without a court order. That is a meaningful shield, and you should know you have it. Political reactions have been fierce on both sides. Immigration advocates are calling the tighter state measures an unconstitutional overreach that criminalizes people simply for trying to get to work. Lawmakers pushing for stricter enforcement argue that the new protocols are necessary for public safety and national security. What is not in debate is the impact on real people, and that impact is significant. Experts who track immigration policy are warning that the next 60 to 90 days will be critical. Enforcement of new rules tends to start soft and then ramp up sharply. Right now, you may encounter officers who are not fully trained on the new protocols, but that window closes fast. By May 2026, the expectation is that the new guidelines will be in full effect across every state that adopted them. So what should you do right now? First, check your state's DMV website today. Not tomorrow, today. Look for any updates to non-citizen license requirements posted in February or March 2026. Second, if your license is expiring in the next 6 months, begin your renewal process immediately. Do not wait until the last minute. Third, if you are on a visa, make sure your supporting documents are organized, current, and ready to present. Fourth, if you live in a sanctuary state, learn your rights. Know what officers can and cannot ask you. Knowledge is protection. Here is the bottom line. These changes are real, they are active, and they are moving fast. The people who will be hurt the most are the ones who assume nothing has changed. The ones who find out when they are sitting in a parking lot after a traffic stop, not sure what happens next. Do not be that person. The information is available. The protection is available, but only if you act. This is exactly why channels like Zenvio News USA exist. Because these stories matter. Because your safety matters. Because your family's stability matters. And because no one should be blindsided by policy changes that the mainstream media buries under breaking news about something else. If this video helped you or someone you know, share it right now. Text it to a family member. Post it in your community group. Drop a comment below telling us what state you are in and whether you have already felt the effects of these new rules. We read every single comment, and your voice shapes what we cover next. Subscribe to Zenvio News USA and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Because in 2026, staying informed is not optional, it is survival. Stay alert, stay informed, and stay ahead with Zenvio News USA.